Sirens, screaming, flashing lights, and a viral clip so shocking, so chaotic, so brutally raw that the entire internet froze mid-scroll. Because tonight, Chrisean Rock has officially been arrested after a violent attack on Hazel-E. And the leaked footage is spiraling into the most unhinged celebrity meltdown of the year. This isn't gossip. This isn't speculation. This is the kind of jaw-dropping, cretting scandal that sends PR teams into cardiac arrest and fans into full-blown hysteria. The moment that shaky video hit the timeline, phones started buzzing across Hollywood like an emergency broadcast. Influencers woke up from dead sleep. Reality stars jumped into group chats. Rap blogs went nuclear. And within minutes, hashtags were exploding with millions of views as the footage took over every corner of the internet. You can hear Hazel-E screaming. You can see Chrisean lunging. You can hear people yelling, "Stop recording." And you can literally feel the panic in the air as security tries and fails to break it up. But the real shock? The aftermath. Because seconds after the fight, someone filmed Chrisean being escorted away. Hands behind her back, fury in her eyes, yelling something the footage doesn't fully catch. But insiders swear was directed at Hazel-E, the officers, and someone else entirely. Someone she blames for setting her up, and now the question tearing through the internet. Like a wildfire is this. Was this a meltdown? A misunderstanding? Or a calculated betrayal designed to destroy Chrisean Rock from the inside? Everything escalates from here. The first crack in reality came the moment a frantic bystander uploaded the raw, unedited footage, a shaky, breathless clip filmed from behind a stack of crates at the venue, showing Hazel-E stumbling backward while Chrisean Rock charged forward like she had snapped past the point of no return. The camera jolted, people screamed, and Hazel's voice cracked in terror as she yelled, "Stop! Don T, touch me." But the most haunting part wasn't the swing, the shove, or the blurred chaos of hands and hair. It was the sound, a single blood-chilling scream that no one could tell was Hazel, Chrisean, or someone else entirely. Within 30 seconds, the clip had already been screen-recorded hundreds of times. Within 5 minutes, it spread across TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram like an uncontrollable virus. And within 10 minutes, blogs were blowing up with one devastating headline: Chrisean Rock detained after a violent altercation with Hazel-E. But according to insiders, the viral footage wasn't even the worst part. What happened 30 seconds after the clip ended was darker, more chaotic, and the real reason officers stepped in. A witness who claims to have been standing inches away said that when security grabbed Chrisean, she swung around and screamed, "Y'all don't know what she said to me," before bursting into tears so intense her voice cracked. Another insider insists, Hazel-E yelled back, "You're lying. You know exactly what you did," creating a screaming match so explosive that security had to physically separate them while the public was refreshing their feeds. The backstage meltdown was spiraling into something no camera caught. A moment so intense that one staffer reportedly quit on the spot. According to him, Chrisean collapsed against a metal railing, sobbing uncontrollably, shaking so hard he thought she might faint. Hazel, meanwhile, was screaming at her own team, demanding someone get this on record while pointing at a bruise that hadn't even formed yet. "She attacked me," she yelled. "She came straight at me." But another witness claims Hazel had been antagonizing Chrisean for nearly 5 minutes before cameras started rolling. They swear Hazel whispered something under her breath, something cruel, something personal, something specifically designed to set Chrisean off. The witness refused to repeat it publicly. But privately, they said it was the kind of thing that turns a calm moment into a war. Meanwhile, officers were rushing into the building after someone called them claiming a woman's life was in danger. When they arrived, they reportedly found Chrisean in a full-blown breakdown, clutching her hair and repeating, "Why would she do that to me? Why now?" over and over. Hazel, surrounded by her entourage, pointed dramatically toward the chaos and shouted, "There. That's her. That's who attacked me," as if she were starring in her own courtroom drama. But here's where things get even more insane. A leaked dispatch recording that surfaced minutes after the arrest revealed an officer saying, "We've got one individual who's uncooperative and one making accusations. Not clear who the aggressor is." The internet exploded instantly because officers didn't say Hazel was the victim. They didn't say Chrisean was the aggressor. They said they didn't know, meaning the viral video was missing something. Something huge. And then came the twist. No one saw coming. Someone who claims to work at the venue posted a DM to a gossip page saying they saw a second recording, the real recording, the one captured on the venue's internal surveillance system. According to them, the viral footage was only the end of the altercation. The beginning showed Hazel stepping into Chrisean's path, blocking her from entering a VIP area, and saying something that made Chrisean's entire face fall. The exact words, "You're a mother now. Act like it." But the insider claims Hazel added something else, something far more venomous that they refused to repeat out loud. Another person who claims to be Hazel's ex-friend leaked a message saying Hazel had been venting earlier in the night about Chrisean getting too much attention and thinking she's untouchable just because the internet loves her. Stay said, Hazel told someone. Watch how quick people switch on her when the right clip drops. That message spread like wildfire, and within minutes, half the internet switched sides, accusing Hazel of masterminding a setup, while fans were tearing each other apart in the comments. Someone posted a new angle of the confrontation, a clearer, closer video filmed from just a few feet away. The audio was distorted, but the visual was unmistakable. Hazel pointed at Chrisean and shoved her shoulder first. A tiny shove, barely noticeable, but enough to trigger a fight, enough to rewrite the entire narrative, enough to shift public opinion instantly. Suddenly, everyone went from Chrisean attacked Hazel to Hazel provoked Chrisean. Commentators started stitching the video. YouTubers began uploading emergency live streams. Twitter turned into a battlefield. TikTok detectives slowed the footage frame by frame, claiming Hazel smirked right before the altercation. And within hours, #FreeChrisean started trending. But the real explosion happened when someone leaked the audio from Hazel's phone call moments after the incident. In the clip, Hazel said, "I don't care how they spin it. She touched me first on camera. That's what matters." That one sentence broke the internet because it wasn't true. The new footage proved otherwise. And now people believed Hazel was manipulating the narrative while Chrisean was breaking down in police custody. Meanwhile, someone close to Chrisean leaked a voice note of her crying hysterically, saying, "I didn't mean to hit her. I just snapped. I couldn't breathe." Why was she saying that to me? The heartbreak in her voice made fans switch sides instantly. People accused Hazel of taking advantage of Chrisean's trauma. Others said Hazel had been waiting for this moment. Others swore this was a setup, carefully engineered by someone who wanted both women to fall apart. But then came the biggest twist so far. A witness stepped forward anonymously and claimed Hazel wasn't the only one Chrisean fought with that night. They said another altercation happened 10 minutes before the viral clip. They said someone else provoked her. They said she snapped twice. And the footage of the first altercation is being held back by someone with power. And that someone? An industry producer who was at the event. Someone who allegedly told staff, "Don't release anything yet. This is about to get bigger." But the moment that sent shockwaves through every corner of social media was the final line of the witness's statement. The woman Chrisean really snapped it wasn't Hazel at all. And suddenly, the entire narrative cracked open into something far more dangerous. The moment that anonymous witness dropped, the line the woman Chrisean really snapped at, wasn't Hazel at all. Every gossip page on the internet went into immediate meltdown. Because if Hazel wasn't the real target, then the viral footage everyone had been dissecting for hours wasn't the beginning of the story. It wasn't even the middle. It was the aftermath. The explosion after a much darker spark, one that hadn't been caught on anyone's phone, or at least not caught publicly. Within minutes, people claiming to be inside the venue staff began posting cryptic comments, like, "Y'all ain't seen the first video and Hazel wasn't the one who set her off. Check the woman in red." Suddenly, the internet was looking for a new villain. A new face, a new piece of missing footage. And then the whispers started. There was a woman in a red dress who had been arguing with Chrisean 10 minutes before Hazel ever came into the frame. Some said she was a stylist. Others claimed she was a friend of Hazel's. A few insisted she was someone from Blueface's circle, sent shockwaves into every corner of the fandom. But no one had proof until a blurry screenshot dropped like a bomb at 3:12 a.m. The image showed a woman in a deep red dress standing inches from Chrisean, pointing a finger aggressively at her chest. Chrisean's face looked shattered, emotional, seconds from breaking. The screenshot spread instantly. Thousands demanded the full video. Bloggers begged their followers to send any angles they had. And then, out of nowhere, a brand new account appeared, posting the full clip for exactly 30 minutes. Before disappearing into thin air, the footage was chaos from the first second. It showed the woman in red leaning close to Chrisean, whispering something into her ear. Chrisean looked confused, then gutted, then furious. She backed up, shaking her head, saying, "Don't play with me like that." As the woman smirked and repeated the same phrase again, the clip was muffled, but audio editors got to work immediately. Within 20 minutes, someone enhanced the sound enough for the internet to hear the alleged line, "Your whole life is a joke. Even your baby daddy don't want you." The moment that audio surfaced, the timeline erupted into full-blown hysteria. People were screaming in the comments. TikTok detectives stitched the clip with slow-motion breakdowns. Twitter threads stretched into novels. Fans were ready to riot on Chrisean's behalf. But then someone enhanced the audio even further, just enough to hear the woman add something else. Something venomous. Something cruel enough to break anyone. "You should have never been a mother." And that was it. The internet understood instantly why Chrisean snapped, why she lunged, why she lost control. But here's where everything took a darker turn. One insider swore the woman in red wasn't speaking for herself. They claimed she was repeating someone else's words, someone who had told her to say it. And when people asked who, the insider typed 3 letters that sent shockwaves through the fandom. BF. The internet erupted. Was that Blueface? Was that a coincidence? Was the woman in red acting on someone's orders? Suddenly, everyone wanted to know who she was, where she came from, and how she was connected. Another insider claimed the woman had been standing with Hazel earlier that night. Someone else said she was a friend of Hazel's team. A third said she came as a +1 for a producer who doesn't like Chrisean's energy. But no one could confirm it because the woman had vanished. She deleted her socials, left the venue early. No one could track her down. Hazel-E's silence made things even worse. She didn't address the woman. She didn't address the rumor. She didn't deny anything. She didn't say a word. And that silence turned into gasoline. Fans began flooding Hazel's comments, demanding answers. Instead, Hazel posted a single black screen with no caption and then vanished offline. People interpreted that as guilt. Others said she was scared. A few speculated she was about to issue a formal statement, but insiders say she didn't. Instead, she allegedly got on the phone with her team and told them, if they release the whole video, it's over for all of us. Meanwhile, Chrisean was reportedly sitting in a holding area, still emotional, still shaking, still replaying everything in her mind. A staff member inside the precinct allegedly leaked that Chrisean kept saying, "Why would she say that about my baby? Who told her to say that? Why tonight?" Her voice reportedly cracked every time she repeated it. Another insider said an officer tried to calm her down by offering water, but she pushed it away and said they planned this. And then came the biggest bombshell so far. A security guard from the venue leaked a voice note he recorded while officers were questioning witnesses. In the clip, someone can be heard saying, "Hazel wasn't even the one who got her mad. It was the other girl. Hazel just got caught in the fallout." Another voice added, "They set her off." They knew exactly what they were doing. The voice notes spread like wildfire. Fans screamed that Hazel's team had orchestrated the entire thing. Others claimed the woman in red was hired specifically to provoke Chrisean. A few even said the setup was planned to ruin Chrisean's upcoming opportunities. Every theory got darker, more intense, more unhinged. But then another piece of audio leaked, this time from inside the police car. It was only 5 seconds long, but it shook the internet like an earthquake. Chrisean's voice sobbing, broken, saying, "She said something about my son. I wasn't supposed to hear that." Everyone knew instantly. This wasn't about Hazel. This wasn't about shade. This wasn't about reality TV drama. This was about someone weaponizing the most painful part of Chrisean's life. Motherhood. And then the final twist of the night detonated. A brand new angle of the Hazel confrontation dropped from a fan account, and at the very beginning of the clip, before the camera pans, before the chaos erupts, before Chrisean lunges, you can hear the woman in red's voice faintly in the background saying one name, a name that made fans lose their minds. Hazel, then a whisper. "She'll react. Just wait." The internet lost all control because this wasn't an accident. It wasn't a coincidence. It was bait, and Chrisean walked right into it. The moment the internet heard that whispered line, "She react. Just wait," everything snapped into a new reality. This wasn't a fight. This wasn't an accident. This was a setup to trap. A staged emotional ambush designed to blow up in Chrisean's face. And once fans realized it, the online world erupted into the most chaotic split-screen frenzy ever seen. On one side were people furious at Hazel, calling her manipulative, calculated, and deeply malicious. On the other side were people swearing Hazel was being framed, insisting someone else planted the woman in red to make it look like Hazel orchestrated the whole thing. But while the public screamed at each other through comment sections, something far more sinister was unfolding behind the scenes. Blogger with a history of accurate leaks posted a cryptic message. "There is someone bigger behind this. Y'all aren't even close." The message got deleted within minutes, but not before thousands of screenshots spread it like a virus. People began speculating wildly: a producer, a rival artist, a jealous ex, someone from Blueface's circle, someone from Hazel's past, until one anonymous account dropped a clue that sent shockwaves through every fandom involved. "Follow the money," the account wrote. "Look who benefits if Chrisean falls." Suddenly, rumors started racing faster than anyone could control. Some said Chrisean had just signed a major brand deal that someone else wanted. Others whispered she was being considered for a big reality TV reboot that certain veterans didn't want her anywhere near. A few even claimed there was a behind-the-scenes feud involving a record label. But one theory drowned out all others. Someone wanted to use Chrisean's vulnerability as ammunition. Someone knew exactly what buttons to press. Someone knew that bringing up her son would break her in half. Meanwhile, inside the precinct, the atmosphere reportedly shifted from chaotic to chillingly tense. An insider claimed officers were arguing quietly in the hallway about whether Chrisean should be booked or questioned further because the story wasn't adding up. One officer allegedly said, "This doesn't smell right. If she was provoked like they're saying, we're gonna look real bad if this footage drops." Another insisted they had to follow procedure. But the real twist came when a sergeant walked in holding a phone and said, "We just got new evidence." The room went silent. Insiders say they played something, a video, an audio clip, a witness statement, and that whatever they heard changed the tone instantly. One officer reportedly sighed and said, "Oh, this is messy." Another muttered, "We need to call this in." But no one knows what the evidence was. Not yet. The file hasn't been leaked. It's being held, hidden, locked down by someone with authority at the same time. Hazel was allegedly spiraling in her own way. A source close to her claimed she was pacing in her living room, shaking, saying over and over, "This is getting out of hand. I didn't want it like this." Another source insists Hazel started crying when she realized the woman in red had been heard whispering her name. A third claims Hazel's team begged her not to issue a statement because anything she said would implicate her even more. One insider swore Hazel screamed at her phone, "I didn't tell that girl to say that. Why would she do that?" But then came the leak that changed everything. A recording surfaced, scratchy, muffled, clearly recorded through a pocket of a conversation that allegedly took place before the confrontation. It wasn't crystal clear, but the voices were recognizable. Hazel's voice, the woman in red's voice, and someone else, a man whose identity became the biggest mystery of the night. In the clip, Hazel sounded uneasy, saying, "Don't go too far. She's emotional." The woman in red responded, "Relax, she needs to be humbled." Then the man added, "Just make her react. The rest will take care of itself. React. The rest will take care of itself." That line detonated the internet. People froze, replaying the clip 1,000 times, trying to identify the man. Some said it sounded like Hazel's fiancé. Others said it sounded like someone from the event's management team. A few fan accounts slowed the audio down and swore the voice sounded eerily similar to someone from Blueface's entourage. Suddenly, this wasn't just drama. It was conspiracy-level chaos. While the internet tried to match voice prints, another leak surfaced, this time from someone claiming to be a distant relative of the woman in red. They posted a long paragraph saying she had been approached by someone with money and influence to push Chrisean's buttons for content. The relative insisted the woman didn't think Chrisean would actually snap. She thought it would just be a verbal argument. But after the fight, the woman fled, terrified, realizing she had been used as a pawn in a bigger plan. The post ended with, "She wants to come forward, but she's scared." Y'all don't know who y'all messing with? It's that one sentence triggered total online collapse. People began posting theories that someone powerful in the industry was behind all of this. Someone who had a reputation for manipulating narratives. Someone who had connections in reality TV, someone who had something to gain. And then came the twist that felt like the opening scene of a documentary. A surveillance clip leaked from the venue's back hallway. The exact moment officers approached Chrisean. But this angle had audio. Chrisean's sobbing voice echoed off the walls as she insisted, "I didn't hit Hazel until she came at me." The officer responded, "The video shows Hazel stepping towards you." And then Hazel's voice appeared in the distance, shouting, "She attacked me." But the officer responded, "Ma'am, we saw the footage." The internet imploded. If the officers saw surveillance footage proving Hazel stepped forward first, then why was Chrisean the one detained? Was Hazel lying? Were the officers pressured? Was someone trying to frame Chrisean legally? But before the conspiracy theories could settle, an even more devastating leak dropped a screenshot from an internal chat at the venue. One message said, "We can't release the full footage yet. Legal wants approval." Another responded, "They're trying to protect the VIP." And then a third message, the one that destroyed all rational thought, said, "The footage shows the man in the red hallway talking to Hazel. If this gets out, it ruins everything." The internet exploded into flame. Who was the man? Why was he talking to Hazel? What was being planned? Why did he vanish after the altercation? And then came the final leak of the night, a blurry photo of the woman in red. Sitting alone outside the venue, crying, holding her phone, looking terrified. Beneath it, a caption from the anonymous account. "She's ready to talk." But she's not the only one. And with that, everything went silent. Because if the woman in red wasn't alone, if others were ready to come forward, if witnesses knew the truth, then the next leak won't just expose the setup, it will expose the names behind it. And when that happens, this won't just be a scandal, it'll be a career-ending, industry-shaking, reputation-destroying fallout on a level no one has ever seen. If you're still here, eyes wide, heart pounding, trying to wrap your mind around every leak, every whispered conspiracy, every missing piece of footage, and every voice note that just flipped this story upside down. Then listen closely, because this is the moment where you decide whether you're watching the chaos or keeping up with it. The next drop is coming. The woman in red is rumored to be speaking out. Hazel's silence is about to break. Insiders are whispering that someone powerful is trying to bury the truth. And the full surveillance footage, the footage that shows everything, is reportedly about to be leaked at any moment. You do not want to be the last person to know what really went down. You do not want to be sitting confused while the entire internet explodes in real time. So if you haven't already, hit that like button right now so this video stays in your recommendations the minute the next leak hits. Drop a comment and tell me who you think is truly behind the setup. Because at this point, the theories are coming in faster than we can read them. And make absolutely sure you subscribe with notifications on. Because the second the next angle drops, the second the woman in red speaks, the second we get confirmation about who the man in the hallway really was, I will be right here breaking it down for you frame by frame before anyone else can twist the story. Don't miss what comes next. The truth is coming, and when it hits, it's going to be explosive.